The Honda Prelude has been known for incorporating really innovative tech into each one of its generations, whether it's an F1 derived fuel injection system, rear wheel steering in the third generation, the DOHC VTEC engine, or an active torque vectoring system. So, given all of that, you would assume that this sixth generation Prelude would do the same. So is it something in here? Or something in here? Maybe something out here? Or is it something as performative as this outfit that I'm wearing, trying to channel the 1990s and my favorite generation Prelude? By the way, that's the third generation. Let's find out. The Prelude first appeared in 1979 as an upscale coupe that was revolutionary because it was front-wheel drive. This all-new coupe is somewhat unique because, in this day and age, well, there aren't many mainstream car makers putting out two-door coupes. Regarding the exterior, now, I'm normally a less is more kind of a gal, but here I think maybe it's a little bit less than I would like. I can definitely appreciate the aerodynamic elements and shape. It has these flush door handles. It has this nice lift back shape. It is also lacking a shark fin antenna here, so everything looks very aerodynamic and sleek. My only issue is that it may be just a little too little. Head and tail lights both extend the width of the car, giving it a little bit of presence and stance. But other than that, to me, it feels a tad generic and even a bit derivative. Is anyone else seeing the front end of the new Toyota Prius here? I am a massive fan of its size. This is not that much bigger than the fifth generation from 25 years ago, except in its width. But I really would love to see just one more thing, maybe a more definitive character line, or maybe even a pop-up headlight. When it comes to the interior of the Honda Prelude, I am a happy camper. I love the color in here. First and foremost, this two-tone on the seats is absolutely major. It's a bold move, and I'm really happy that they made it. The leather is really nice and soft. You get contrast stitching in two different colors. I love it. I like everything about it in here. When it comes to the other surfaces and how they're covered, this is really nice, soft to the touch, very comfortable. It's not exactly suede. I don't think it's exactly leather, so maybe some new kind of material called sweather, but it looks like suede. It has like a suede-ish texture, and I appreciate the effort. You're getting a 9-inch touchscreen, perfect size for this size car. You don't need any more than that. A digital gauge cluster, which really operates very nicely. As far as everything else and how it's set up, I like it. The buttons feel good, nice and tactile in my hands. I like this grating over the air vents. It's very civic, but a little bit elevated, and I really appreciate it, and I really like it. I even like this flat bottom steering wheel, which normally I'm not a fan of, but I think the stitching is classy. I love that these paddle shifters are an actual metal and not plastic. I think that for a slightly elevated car above the Civic, this is a success. Seat comfort, to me, off the charts. I could sit in this seat for a long road trip and have no problems. Now, the driver's seat and the passenger seat are both bolstered differently. On the outside, you get more support on each of those seats, so they're not just interchangeable. I think that's a really nice, thoughtful feature. As far as room goes, plenty of leg room. I do have plenty of headroom. I have a long body, even though I'm 5'4", I have a long torso, so I still have plenty of headroom. As far as adjustability with the seats, it's all manual. They are definitely trying to save some weight in here, but I feel like you can find enough adjustability to make yourself nice and comfortable. You can tilt and telescope the steering wheel as well. Now, when it comes to the second row, not gonna lie, this is a 2+2. Which we all know means that the +2 is not exactly a really defined second row. Getting in here for some might be a little bit of a challenge. And if I'm honest, this is not doable for me. Again, I have a long body, but my head is right up against that glass. And if I were to pull the seat back,
to my ideal seating position. My legs would fit, but I wouldn't be a happy friend. When it comes to cargo space though, I'm a little bit more impressed. Actually, no, I'm a lot more impressed. Again, we're looking at a lift back here. They did this intentionally to try and make this a little bit more usable. And you have 15.1 cubic feet of cargo space behind this second row. 60-40 split on that tiny little itty bitty back row. So you could fit golf clubs in here. You could fit 2 luggage pieces in here, not just for one person, but if you were going away on a vacation, that's a pretty formidable amount of space. I'm not gonna lie, I can camp in here. Pricing on the Honda Prelude starts at $43,195. That includes destination. But pricing also kind of ends there because there is only one trim to the Honda Prelude. That means you get absolutely everything, all the bells and whistles. Now, if you want to compare that to the, let's say the Civic Hybrid, the Touring, the top of the line, because you're getting everything there, you are looking at about $10,000 more for the Prelude.
That includes Honda Sensing, Honda's full suite of safety features, including the more advanced ones. You also get LED head and tail lights too.
You get Apple CarPlay, you get Android Auto, you get Google built-in. You also have wireless charging, and I will say this is nice and grippy, so when you're going around turns, that phone stays in place. Driving the Honda Prelude, I feel like I have to start out with one thing, and that is the powertrain. Now, this is a hybrid system that is in the Civic. It's made up of an engine and 2 motors. There is a larger traction motor that operates and powers the front wheels. Then there is a smaller one that acts as a generator and a starter. And then there's the engine, and the engine is what powers up the battery. And then sometimes when you're cruising at a faster situation, it will lock out those 2 electric motors and it will just directly drive the car. So it's a very sophisticated setup that Honda has, very smooth transition between all of those different components and elements. And that is what's giving the Prelude its giddy up. I don't want to say it's only getting 200 horsepower, but it's only making 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque. Some people will say, but that's the same amount of horsepower that you got in the 5th generation Prelude from 25 years ago. Yes, but, and this is a big but, the torque number is significantly higher. I think that last one was like 156 pound-feet of torque. The other big difference here with that torque number is you're getting a lot of that torque from 2 electric motors. That means the torque is instant, and I am betting that that 200 horsepower now feels more significant than it did 25 years ago, and I don't think I'm wrong. Gas mileage numbers, well, those look pretty stellar. The other thing that Honda has done in its favor is not bloat this car too much. It only weighs about 200 pounds more than the 5th gen, so they've managed to keep the weight down, which I think also helps it. From a standstill, no, you're not gonna rip off the drag strip and get like phenomenal times, but there is enough chutzpah in this engine for you to have a little bit of fun. Every Prelude gets 4 drive modes: Comfort, GT, Sport, and Individual mode. The thing that I love about this car is you actually have adaptive dampers. So when you are changing into those modes, one of the things that does change is the suspension settings. And I am happy to report that there is a marked difference in each one of those suspension settings. Comfort is going to be nice and easy driving. GT is a great intermediary between Comfort and Sport. Sport is a little bit firmer, but it's not so aggressive like the Civic Type R that you're going to like feel it in your teeth or need to go to the chiropractor after a driving session. Individual, I think, is fantastic because you have so many different settings that you can operate yourself, anywhere from the way that the steering feels, to the way that the engine sounds, all of those elements to make a really perfect situation just for you. I love that they do that. Shows me that they're really thinking about their enthusiast customers. Those adaptive dampers are part of several bits of componentry from the Civic Type R that I think make the Prelude a very impressive specimen. You're getting the front and rear track from the Type R. You're getting in the front the knuckles, the damper forks, and the lower control arms. Those dampers have been retuned, so they're not as aggressive as the Civic Type R, which again makes this more of a GT car than anything else. In the rear, you are getting the subframe mounted multi-link suspension, again tuned specifically for this car, not as aggressive as on the Type R. But I'm going to say this, the engineers, I believe, did a really terrific job of finding a great spot between the Civic Si and the Type R that really makes this such an enjoyable car to drive. Now, the element that Honda is saying is that kind of one special thing that the Prelude is showcasing and showing off is S Plus Shift. Now, this is this button right here. You push this button down no matter what mode you're in, and even though this car does not have a transmission, it starts acting like it does have a transmission. So we push this button and you're gonna start to hear some rev matching in the sort of when you're downshifting. You're going to feel little sort of blips in the throttle as though you were shifting, whether it's upshifting or downshifting. Now, to me, I think there's an element of theater that's there. When Honda says, oh, it's really going to make the driving experience more engaging, I'm not 100% sure that that's true. I think, yes, it does make it feel a little bit more as though you're doing the stuff, but you're not actually doing the stuff. So what I am doing, whether S Plus Shift is on or not, remains exactly the same. The auditory sounds, the way that it feels, does not change my experience all that much. Certainly not enough for me to say, yeah, I'm gonna buy that car. As far as the handling goes, Honda has enhanced their agile handling assist. So coming into corners, coming out of corners, because now it actually does employ when you are braking. I think turn-in is really great. It is assisting as you're braking as well as accelerating, so they're trying to mitigate understeer a little bit more. When it comes to brakes, the Prelude has also pilfered the Brembos from the Civic Type R. These are really confident brakes. They feel very natural even though they are set up with regen. Fun fact, they have 7 levels here of regenerative braking. I'm not 100% sure you need that many, but I'll say this, I mean, you definitely can feel a difference. I probably would have gone for 4, but hey, if 7 blows your hair back, then go for it. When I first sat in this car, I thought, oh, visibility is going to be fantastic. I can literally see from almost behind my passenger all the way forward. And then the first time I had to change lanes and I looked behind my passenger, holy smokes, I was met with a very massive pillar. So I'm very grateful that there is blind spot monitoring on this and alerts so that it will tell you if someone's in that blind spot, because otherwise, there could be a Mack truck there and you probably would not see it. People are already talking about a Prelude Si. I am not 100% sure how that could be done. You would have to completely change the powertrain in order to accommodate a manual. The Civic Si, to me, is infamous and special because it has a manual transmission. So if that is coming at some point in the future, I'm not 100% sure how they would address that, but I guess that's a wait and see moment. If you are ready to pull the trigger on a Honda Prelude, well, click that link above and KBB can help you find a fair purchase price. Although, because there's only one trim, I'm guessing that there's only one price. But click on that link anyway.
As for competitors, this is a really tough question because there really aren't any. You can look to the Nissan Z or the Toyota GR86 or Subaru BRZ, but those are more sports cars. Whereas if you look at the Acura Integra, say A-Spec, that is a four-door sedan and not necessarily a coupe. So the Prelude here really is carving out a very unique space all its own.
The Honda Prelude's going to have a lot of people talking about it. Is it too expensive? What is the specialness of this car? And I will state again, to me, the most innovative thing here is not the S Plus shift, which is a fun feature, but to me feels a little bit more like a gimmick. To me, it is the Civic Type R componentry that this gets with the adaptive suspension. Now, as far as how it drives, this is a great, fun driver. But more importantly, the thing that really differentiates it from the Civic Hybrid Touring is the fact that this is a coupe. I love it when a manufacturer, even though they know that there's not going to be a lot of money here, they are doing this because their enthusiasts are excited about it and love it. This, to me, is what makes this car so special. And I, for one, am thrilled that Honda's doing it. If you are in the market for something like this that is efficient and it's comfortable and it's still very practical, but still a very, very fun driver that has a lot of performance elements in it, then absolutely put the Honda Prelude on your list. I don't think you're going to regret it. Maybe not as much as I kind of regret wearing this.